Good morning. I want to talk to you about Sweden again. Yeah, I haven't been talking much about it because it's the same basically. Politicians are acting the same, very boring statements. They are not doing anything really to handle the situation. Media is acting the same as they have been for a long time. One example was yesterday actually. There was this guy who was convicted of 2 assassinations in the Stockholm suburb. And usually when somebody is convicted, like an old Swedish lady who fails to pay her taxes or something, they will post the name and the picture, absolutely, yeah. But not this guy, no. No pictures, no names mentioned. So that's what they do. There is something going on in Sweden that is extremely upsetting to a lot of people. I know it is. I am upset about it, of course. It's the humiliating, the robbing, the harassment, the attacks on young Swedish males. Actually, Swedish media, they were sort of forced to talk about it, I think, because they did. Some days ago, they interviewed some young guys at the Stockholm suburb school. And these guys, they said, well, they take precautions. You know, they don't walk alone because they know they can be robbed, they can be beaten up by gangs. Yeah, gangs of young males, usually between 15 and 19 years old, something like this. So, and there was a recent story that was in the news. It was a guy who was taken by a gang to a cemetery. He was stripped naked. He was robbed and they urinated on him while filming the whole thing. And then they published it on Facebook, social media at least. Yeah. I want to tell you one story. This just happened. It's a mother. She got this text message from her son, young son, and the text said, "Playground, quickly." And she got very scared, and she knew that this guy, her son, was in danger, and she started running. She was running so fast that she got blood taste in her mouth. And she could hear him scream in pain from a distance. Yeah, this is an awful story. She started to scream his name over and over while she was running, and when she arrived, she saw something that you don't want to see this in your life. That's what she said. Her son, young son, was without clothes. He was terrified. He was crying in pain. And the guys who had beaten him up had left. Apparently they heard her coming. These were 3 guys, 16 to 18 years old. They hit him in the stomach, over his head. They whipped him with his own belt over his back and legs. He had prayed and asked for them to stop. And they replied laughing, "We had just started." She also says that before she came, they started to strangle him with his own belt. Yeah, it's terrible. Okay, so she says it's the same guys has been terrorizing him for a long time, and his friends. They are looking for the slightest reason to attack, she says. These bastards, these cowards. Yeah. Right. So that's the story. Yeah, she concludes also this. It's not a war between motorcycle gangs that is the big problem in society today, she says. And this is a good point. You know, media, they try to blame this on motorcycle gangs. When something bad happens, it's motorcycle gangs. This is so pathetic, what they are trying to do. Yeah. So who do you blame for this? Well, I blame 2 things actually. I blame the Swedish citizens for being so easily manipulated by these asshole globalist politicians, and for not waking up soon enough. And of course I blame the politicians for this. This is the result of their totally irresponsible politics. Yeah, assholes. That's what you are. So what do you do about it? Well, you have to handle this locally, of course. The government will not handle this. The police will not handle it. No. You have to get together locally. You have to find your friends. You have to go to your neighbors and talk to them. You have to do something about this. Yeah. Myself included, of course. Yeah. These guys should not get away with this. And our society here in Sweden is so timid. The justice system is ridiculous. So they just get away with it, and they think they can do this. There's no sentences. They just get away with it. It's terrible. So that's the solution. You have to do this locally. Yeah. You people, we people, have to do it ourselves. That's the only way. Yeah. Eventually, maybe we will get a government here in Sweden that will start to handle it. Maybe. No. The present government will not. There's no chance. And you know it. Just listen to these pathetic losers, feminist politicians. They can't do a thing about this. And they will not. They don't want to, it seems. See? They are just looking for these people to vote for them. Yeah, it's terrible. It's pissing me off, this. We can't have these young Swedish guys being humiliated like this. Yeah. All right. That's all. Bye.